Hi everyone, welcome back to We Speak. Today I'm going to be talking about the Hkdse, more specifically about the Jupas application, because I do know that the Jupas application deadline is coming really soon, and this video is actually sort of like a collaboration / a product of Joint University Nepali Society. One of our events that we're going to have soon is in late November. We're going to be organizing sort of like a workshop for secondary students and parents, where we will try to pool our resources by doing our research and trying to answer any questions that you guys have about how to enter universities or institutions and how to actually apply for those. Again, I'm not an expert on this topic, but as students who have surpassed the Hkdse and who have gone through the Jupas application, the whole scenario thing, we have accumulated a few tips that worked for us, and hopefully that will work for you as well. So without further ado, let's get into it. Number 1, make your choices carefully. For those of you who have started to prep for the application, you know that there will be 20 choices list, and they have band A, B, C, D, blah, 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 blah. But what I want to focus on is band A, because that is the most important one. For A1, what you want to put is your ultimate dream program. It doesn't matter how competitive it is, whether you think that, you're not gonna make it, it's okay. Just put it in A1. Because the last thing you want after your DSE is to think that, maybe I should have put that choice there. Maybe I could have got it. And if you have actually declared that that is your first choice, that could even give you a bigger push to work harder for it. For A2, what you want to do is still input the choice that you are interested in, but maybe less competitive than what you put in A1. A2, you will have a bit higher possibilities of getting into, because that program is not as competitive as what you put in A1. But remember that your A2 will also be fairly competitive. Now for A3, a lot of people think that this is the most crucial choice. And yeah, to some extent I agree as well, because A3, what students are suggested to input is a program that you are sure that you're going to get in. For example, if your A1 and A2 are programs from the top 3 universities, then maybe for A3 try to put something less demanding. Most students often get their program choices from band A, so either A1, A2 or A3. This is the pool that students will be mostly selected from. Make sure that you really put it in strategically. Number 2 is check your deadlines. I know that this is very self-explanatory. Obviously, you have to mark down your deadlines. I've had actual friends who have come up to me and said that, hey, I didn't get into this program because I missed the deadline, so I couldn't apply for it. I don't know what to say to that. For Jupas applications, they're pretty strict about the deadlines. If you have the ability, if you have the capability, but because of 1 day delay that you couldn't get into something that you wanted. That would suck. And also check your DSE calendar. I'll try to put as many useful links as possible in the description below so that you guys can have a look. Number 3 is calculate your scores. Now what I mean by this is, different universities actually have different ways of calculating their scores. There's something called best 5 and there's something called 4+2. Best 5 is where they will literally just look at your 5 highest scoring subjects, and for 4+2 they will emphasize on your core subjects, so maths, English, LS, and Chinese. Another thing that I would also like to mention about calculating scores is to predict your own scores. I know that schools will give you predicted grades, so make use of that. See where your level is. Back in high school with my friend, we would list out our lowest possible score, most likely to get score, highest possible score. And we would tell ourselves and tell each other that if we get this low score, then I'm gonna go into this program. If I get the most likely score that I'm gonna get, then I'm gonna get into this program. And if I get this high score, then I'm gonna get into this program. It was sort of like reminding yourself that, hey, when this happens, you know what to do, so that you don't freak out. I was like, oh my god, I prepped myself for this, but now I have this, what am I gonna do? That's sort of like a mental preparation for yourself. Number 4, conversion rates. This tip is mostly applicable to non-Chinese speaking students like myself. We still have to fulfill the Chinese criteria in the Jupas system. A lot of us, what we do is we take GCSE Chinese to fulfill the criteria. So different universities have their own way of converting these scores. Some universities could have a very good conversion rate for GCSE Chinese, while some other universities may have a lower conversion rate. If you want to see where you stand stand higher chances of getting into the program, then also look at these conversion rates, because that could really help you out in the accumulation of your scores. There is something called Category C in the Jupas system, where you take up a foreign language. Some of the institutions also look at these Category C subjects. For example, in Hong Kong U, if you get B in A-levels French, then that could convert into 5.5. While you have an elective, let's say history, you got 3, then you can see that you can replace this elective with the score of French, so 5.5, so that's like 2.5 scores more. It might be different every year, so make sure that you do your research well and the information is up to date. And number 5 is follow your heart. And I know that it sounds so cheesy and overrated, and it's like, ugh, I don't want to hear that, but there's a reason why it's overrated. I mean, think about it. You're spending 4 years of your life, you're putting your time, you're putting your effort, and you're putting your money where the subject is supposed to cater to your interests. In our society, unfortunately, we have sort of like an obligation to get a good paying job where they give you stable salary and income, which looks good on your graduation certificate, which looks good when you talk to other people. But think about it, who are you studying for? Are you studying for society? Are you studying for what people are gonna think? Or are you studying for what you actually want? 4 years of your life, and if you're not even interested in that field, you're gonna be miserable, just gonna end up with shitty grades. Maybe it's not just all about grades. Maybe people are actually good at getting good grades, but is that going to guarantee that you're going to enjoy your 4 years in university? After like 20, 30, 40 years, you want to look back and think, I had the best 4 years of my life in university because I was studying what I really loved. There's nothing I want more than to see younger generations really follow what they actually want to do and what they've been dreaming about. Obviously, it's not going to be all, roses and rainbows. Everything happens for a reason. If the result is not what you wanted, then it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. There are so many alternatives that you can take in your life, but that's not an excuse for just neglecting your studies. So that was all for my tips for Jupas application. And if you guys have any more that you want to add, then feel free to leave it in the comments so that other people can read it as well. Thank you so much for watching. Subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!